this is a tough subject because it's what's the whole interest system has got a grip on the world. Like I already showed you the map, like trillions of dollars in debt. And there are, this is what Judaism says about charging interest. It denounces it thoroughly. The prophet Ezekiel, if one has charged interest or taken increase, shall he then live? He shall not live. If he has done any of these abominations, he shall surely die. His blood shall be upon him. This is like a grave sin. David says the same thing in Psalms. The Proverbs says the same. The Torah says the same. Then the Talmud and the Midrash, which are commentaries on the Torah, they emphasize it more, and they don't seem to make any loopholes or any concessions to the horrors of charging interest on money. One who lends money on usury cannot be regarded as reformed until he tear up his account books and effect a complete reform. He who lives by usury in this world shall not live in the world to come. That's the Talmud and the Midrash. This is something that I've been thinking about because this is a horror that's been behind anti-Semitism, and this was one of the driving factors of the Inquisitions of Nazi Germany, and I see this cropping up today. But it's based on something that's happened in history. There was an unholy agreement between Christendom and Judaism. There's what appears to be a loophole in the Torah. It says, do not charge your brother interest on money, food, or anything that can earn interest. You may charge a foreigner interest, but you must not charge your brother interest. This is something that I've avoided for years. I didn't want to touch this because but this is the perfect setup in the Middle Ages or Dark Ages. Jews were very persecuted. They weren't allowed to own property. They lived in ghettos. And the church considered them not worthy of owning property or conducting regular business in society. But Europe was having problems with their wars. They needed to fund them. And it was illegal in Europe, in Christian Europe, to charge interest. It's very clear in Christianity and in Judaism, the Bible, as it is in other world religions. Charging interest is a crime, so it's forbidden. But they wanted to borrow money to fund atrocities in Europe. But then there's this little loophole here. Okay, Christians aren't allowed to lend money to each other, but we could go to the Jews. And the Jews agreed. This is the only living they were allowed to make. They were living in poverty. But they were given the handover of money. You may charge a foreigner interest, but you must not charge your brother interest. This set up a system of paranoia and atrocity in Europe and the world that's going on today. Of course, they became wealthy, and Christian Europe became resentful because the increasing power of the Jews who were originally in the ghettos. Now they have this power because they have this power of lending at interest. Of course, now, like, charging interest was illegal till like not too long ago, a couple hundred years ago. Now everybody does it. Now we have huge, powerful Christians in high places, bankers, and even a lot of Muslims are doing it. It was illegal for Muslims, and they've worked around it too. Every one of them finds a little loophole. So basically, people often ask me, well, what kind of system do you suggest replacing the money system with? I don't really. What I'm saying is that it's already here. It's been this way for zillions of years. The gift economy and the perfect justice are already here, except in our minds. And I would say this is what forgiveness is. It's putting away these thoughts. These thoughts of credit and debt. Giving up your debt, which is your belief. And when we do that, then all of a sudden we become balanced with each other, with our economics, and with our environment.